What's up, guys? Today we're going to be talking about motivation. This is a request I got from a follower, and so we're going to talk about mainly the difference between motivation and discipline, and what makes them different and what do we need to be able to finally get to a point where we are disciplined and we are living a life according to the standard that God wants us to live. So, in summary, what is motivation? Motivation is basically when you wait for external factors to make you move. It's when you're waiting for something to happen to you to be like, okay, yes, because this happened, I will now do that. And I think you could kind of see where this mentality falls. Let's say that motivator or whatever it may be, let's say that thing never happens, then you'll just wait forever. You're basically relying on external factors rather than relying on the things that you could do right now. And that's why motivation is not the best thing. The little thing I want to point out though is that motivators are not a bad thing. It's just, it becomes bad when you solely rely on motivators and motivation. Because like I said, it's like, you're not assured that you will have a motivator. So like, let's say you want to go to the gym and you wait for a friend. Let's say that friend doesn't go. That means you won't go. Whereas discipline is, I will go no matter what, no matter the weather, no matter if my friend comes, no matter how tired I am, I will still go. And this is something that is useful for your whole life. And I speak about it a little bit on my stories, but you could train these things in the small micro everyday tasks. For example, waking up early, drinking water when you don't feel like it, resisting temptation, resisting from eating that thing that you normally always eat but know is not good for you. Throughout the day, God convicts us during the day, even for the little things. And you could train your discipline by seeing when God convicts you and responding in the right manner. Obviously the gym is like the best example I could give you of why discipline is favorable over motivation. You need to go to the gym no matter what. As I said in the example earlier, you shouldn't rely on external factors to go to the gym. You should go whether you want it or not. And also, motivation is kind of it's a feeling. I feel motivated. This thing happened to me, therefore I feel motivated, and I'm going to use that energy to do what I have to do. And feelings, I think you guys know where I'm trying to go with this, but it's facts over feelings. It's objective reality over relative reality. It's what can I do that is objectively going to benefit me, as opposed to how do I feel? How does my flesh feel? Like we have to deny our flesh. Our flesh is gonna want to do some weird things, It's gonna want to do some weird things, and discipline is being able to say no and to do what is just objectively right. And especially as men, that is so important. In Western society, emotion is the driving factor for a huge proportion of people, and that's dangerous. A man who is not able to control his emotions and reacts upon feelings, that's a dangerous man, like in the bad sense. One who could control his emotions, one who is able to make the objectively right decision even when everybody is against his stance or his opinion. Now that is a strong man. That is someone that is worthy of being a leader. And as men of God, or just in general, now I'm using the example for men, but just in general, you have to be able to have that discipline and to do what is objectively right. Because we live in a society that has been engineered in a way where we're comfortable, everything we do feels good, the food we eat is infested with chemicals and things that taste good and feel good. And so we rarely get to train our discipline. We rarely get to have to make those hard decisions. And I'm going kind of on a tangent right now, but yeah, just to drive the point that motivation is feeling, but discipline is making a decision. The point I'm trying to drive is that motivation is a feeling, and feelings come and go, but discipline is making the objectively right decision. To give the Christian perspective, God wants obedience. Obedience means that when God tells you to do something, and it's not what you would, as a flawed human being, decide, when he tells you to do that thing, you gotta do it no matter what. And so this is just like the biblical perspective, the Christian perspective. When God tells us to do something, we do it no matter what. And this could be used in everyday life. And I wanted to actually bring up a beautiful verse, a beautiful passage in the book of Hebrews. Precisely, it is Hebrews 12:11. It starts at verse 11, and it says, "No discipline seems pleasant at the time, but painful. Later on, however, it produces a harvest of righteousness and peace for those who have been trained by it." This is a beautiful verse. I love it so much because it shows you exactly the importance of discipline and what it is. Our human minds are always focused on like instant gratification, but here it says that discipline at the time will not feel pleasant, but in the future what does it say exactly? It's gonna produce a harvest of righteousness. And especially in today's society, where everything we do is about instant gratification, doom scrolling, everything is just instant. But the Bible tells us it will produce a harvest of righteousness, but it won't be pleasant at the time. And yeah, I mean, also in the Gospels, Christ himself, he doesn't say, pick up your crosses when you feel like it, right? What does he say? He says, take up your cross daily. It's a daily process. It's It's not something that you could just check off your list and then boom, it's fine. It's a daily process. And Christ helps you. He gives you that strength. He gives you that knowledge. Discipline is also a part of dying to yourself. Like, that is what following Christ really is, right? We deny our flesh, we deny ourselves, and now Christ lives through us. And so I wanted to kind of finish off the video here by giving you kind of an idea of how this could look like in real life, give you practical advice. So, to the guys I coach, I explain this concept. It's called the pillar process. It's a 4-step method. And the brief overview is, the first thing to have a disciplined life is to align yourself with God. That's the first step. I think it's the most obvious one. He is the rock on which we stand. He is our firm foundation. And so if you don't have that down, everything else will crumble. So that is the most important part. And then the second step is structure. So in this pillar, you write things down. You write your daily routines down. What does your morning routine look like? What does your evening routine look like? What is your gym split? What are you going to eat in the morning? How are you going to schedule your day? How are you going to schedule your week? And so this is what I teach people, is to have a structure. And so that is the second step after aligning with God. And then the third step is to execute. It's to actually, this is where the discipline comes into place. Theoretically everything seems good, but now it's actually taking these systems and putting them into practice. And then the fourth and final step is sustaining and multiplying. And so it's coming to a state of overflow, having everything down good as a man of God, having all of your systems down, knowing what your purpose is, and then overflowing. So being able to steward for others. This kind of goes with the other standards of a Christian man, provision, stewardship. That was a quick rundown of the pillar process. That's what I teach people. And another point I wanted to bring up is that we overconsume content. We love seeing reels and videos that motivate us, and it's an illusion because we think we're being productive by looking at that type of content, and we feel like it's productive. We feel like we're actually doing something, but we're not. We're just dopamine maxing, and it's not good. You've consumed enough information. Now it's time to go out and act on the information that you've consumed. Like, you've done enough, bro. You've done enough scrolling. Now it's time to go out into the real world and to do the will of God, to help people, and to advance the kingdom of light, bro. That's what it is about. I thank you guys for watching. This was kind of a quick video, just looking at the differences between motivation and discipline, and why discipline is favorable over motivation. And I thank my follower for sending me this video request. I really appreciate it. Yeah, if you guys have any other topics that you would like for me to go over, I will be glad to add it to my content board. And so drop it in the comments. If you have any idea whatsoever, drop it in the comments. And if you don't already follow my Instagram, go check it out. It's at Walk with Tango. It'll be on screen right now. That is where I post daily content, daily stories. Hopefully you could find some value in that. And so yeah, I thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time.